Who are these people?
I'm Peter Garachi.
I'm Alex Bashera.
They started a podcast.
Why don't you call it Kill You Last?
Yeah.
To honor 80s action movies.
He just put on brand new army pants in the heat.
There will be action.
He is in the middle of a field, surrounded.
More action.
Totally exposed, and he doesn't get hit once.
Tension.
You had, like,
Peter,
as what you did.
I gotta ask you, stop hitting the table.
This is the movie that really is the template for the 80s action movie.
Peter Garachi. Alex Bashera. They will kill you last. Podcast.
All right, this is Kill You Last. I'm Peter Garachi.
I'm Alex Bashera.
Happy New Year. We're already 3 weeks into the new year.
Yes. Shout out to Vocal for the intro.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's never
so
not
good. I don't get tired of it. I really don't. I was thinking, am I not gonna like it this time? And no, I like it.
I feel like I'm the butt of the joke of it. And
I feel like I am. Oh, no.
It's making fun of me a lot.
But you're driving the show. Like, I mean, it's you. The whole thing is you being, like, in the beginning, you're talking about the 80s action movie. I'm just like the guy talking about your odd habits.
Yeah, but you get the punchline.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So, look, he picked one episode. There was probably, just one of those episodes where I had more punchline. I don't know.
He picked a good one. But, yeah, I wanted to do, it's funny, we're doing Beastmaster this week because of Tanya Roberts, who passed away.
What a weird story this is.
Oh, and it's so funny because she died on January 4th.
Right.
And I mean, did you know who she was?
Weird, but so I only found out about her because I heard another radio show doing a story about how in between. Okay, so I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but she dies. Is that January 4th? You said
was actually when she actually died. Yes.
So like late December or whenever, like not too far away from January 4th, like a little bit before then, it was reported that she had died. And she had, in fact, not died.
It was a couple days beforehand, I believe.
Right,
so, yeah.
Right. And so I was listening to a radio show where they were talking about how she had not actually died yet, but the fake death had happened or whatever. Not fake, you know what I'm saying. The misreported death.
The death, yeah.
Yeah. So they were just laughing about, like, how can you get that wrong? Like, how can you just not verify that the person's still alive? And it was pretty funny because it turns out the boyfriend or husband just thought she was dead and left the hospital.
It's like
hilarious.
It's the perfect story for like the media and this time period because I feel like everything we hear is questionable now. It's almost nothing that's not like rumor and innuendo and turns out to be bullshit. So it's like the perfect story because immediately. Because, like, for someone like me, it was, like, immediate, like, nostalgia. I was like, oh, man, like, Tanya Roberts. Like, I had a crush on her when I was a little kid. Like,
right.
And then it's like, she's, like, around my parents' age, which is not old at all. And hear, like...
Wait. She's around your parents' age, which is not old. How old are your parents?
Well, I mean, like, it's not like she's 80 years old and she passed away. To, like, die in your 60s, you're still...
your parents are young. Okay.
Well, my mom's 60. My mom's birthday is tomorrow, actually. Oh. I got to remind myself. I have to, like, write 3 reminders to call her.
Write it.
I almost called her today preemptively, just so I wouldn't forget tomorrow. But and I think my dad's 71, so it's just. Yeah, I remember being it's like when you're a kid, like that was old, but now every one of my grandparents has made it to 90, so even 90 doesn't seem that.
Well, no, 90's old. And that's outstanding that all your grandparents made it that far.
But also, too, just like icons dying. Like, I went down like a YouTube rabbit hole yesterday. Like, every lead singer from the 90s except for Eddie Vedder is gone.
Yes.
It's weird. It's just
not every, but sure, a lot of them.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
like all the major bands. And then even like, like the fact that Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and Prince...
Yeah,
that are, you know what I mean? All these people, and they're dying like in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like, that's a weird thing to have happen. But the way the story, there was actually, so she was on that
weird. Yeah.
She was on that 70s show. She played one of the moms for a while.
Which one did she play?
She played who's Laura Prepon, the big redhead. She played her mom.
Her mom. Okay.
And again, another thing that could it's just,
Donna's mom.
Donna, that's
what you guys are watching that 70s show. Sure.
I think Topher Grace tweeted out such a sad story, blah blah blah. She was a great lady, all this stuff, and then Ashton Kutcher tweeted, "She's not dead, bro," or something like that. It's like, when it was the in between time before she actually did die. And then the story was that her then boyfriend went to see her, assumed she was dead, and declared she was dead.
He went to see her, I guess saw her. I don't know. What did she have? Like, why did she end up dying?
She collapsed, and then I think they found that she had some infection or something. I don't know exactly. Even that.
That's weird.
I think it's funny because I think
infection? She died of an infection?
Either like a urinary tract infection or something.
What?
Or
she died from that?
People, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe all the news is bullshit. I just think.
Hold on, before we get to that, let's do the actual story, and then we could get into that.
What do you mean?
Well, let's take it at face value. Let's explore the face value story, because that's crazy enough as it is.
She collapsed, and she was hospitalized, and then she died a couple days later.
Okay, but when she was hospitalized, she was, I guess, in a coma or was sleeping. She was unresponsive.
I don't know.
And the boyfriend, I got to get his name. We got to pull up his story. But asshole comes in, thinks, sees his wife or girlfriend, whatever.
Lance O'Brien, which sounds like a fucking chud. Like, just a fucking...
He's a chud,
dude.
yeah.
Like
he's got low brain cell count. Like, low activity. Lance goes in. He walks in. He sees that his girlfriend is... Tanya Roberts is unresponsive in the hospital, and just decides that means she's dead. Doesn't ask a nurse, doesn't ask
announces
a doctor.
It publicly.
Walks home or drives home crying. He's this much of a moron that he's not doing this like maliciously. He's doing this because he really believes that she's dead. He's just like stupid, and he's crying like an idiot. And he goes home, and they a reporter, I think, contacts him because they found out Tanya Roberts is not. They can't contact her in the hospital. They want to get story, and he's crying to the reporter, like they have the recording where he's like, she's dead, just like sobbing. And in fact, she wasn't. and all he would have had to do was just talk to the doctors to see that she wasn't dead. So that's weird. She does wake up, and then she ends up dying. Which is very sad. Strange.
It's just, but I feel like it's like a story of the times. Like, like,
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like,
not dying of an infection.
No, really. But like the way that the story happened, it's like we're like kind of reverting back where we used to have wakes because they didn't know if a person was dead, so you wanted to give the person the opportunity to wake up.
Wow, is that why it's called a wake?
That's why it's literally called a wake. That's why the casket is open. just make sure that you don't bury a person that's in a coma. So then we have like all these like centuries of science and medicine. And now we're at a point where like we're almost like it's just like urban legend and myth and just like fairy tale all over it. Like, maybe...
I gotta say, I disagree with this take because this is the first time I've ever heard this happen.
I feel like it's not going to be the last.
Maybe not the last, but this is odd. This is a peculiar story that takes a real moron to drive this story. This Lance idiot.
She was it's funny because
how do you not talk to the doctor? Like, how do you not go, is she dead? Like, I mean, how can you? I don't understand that.
I just feel like it's all part of this era that we're living in, just like mass confusion. And,
do you think social media is just turning everyone's brain into like
100%? Mine too. I can't.
Stop. You got to just stop it. You got to stop it.
It's a bad addiction.
I know. You can't wake up in bed scrolling.
I'm becoming. Oh, dude, my hand hurts.
I know. I go numb. Sometimes.
I shake out my hand and then I switch hands.
Yeah, to get your brain all angry again.
My poor cat wants to be pet, and I can't because my hand closest to her has the phone.
I know, man. I get annoyed.
I'm like deep into like hardcore like Marxist leftist Twitter now.
Don't go there.
Well, they hate like Biden and the media for the like the exact opposite reason, but
they're
we're
closer to Trumpers
than
you would think. The Marxist leftist like Antifa Twitter is like where they openly organize Antifa events. Not like the mainstream liberals that are like Antifa's not even real. It's like no. Like the part of Twitter that they're actually doing the organizing of the protesting. that like super left wing and the Trump like, you know, march on the Capitol people are very similar people.
But I don't even mean like I don't like chaos and revolution and all that stuff. I'm talking about like the intellectual.
No,
like,
but the violence comes from the intellectual arguments.
Yeah, I listened to like 2 hours of like some Marxist podcast today where they were laughing at the hysteria of Trump because it's like,
right.
Meanwhile, you know, no one's talking about like workers and like wages and all that stuff. It's like this is just yet another distraction. To keep from actually helping people who
it's
are.
True. They're right about that. The thing is that the extremists get a few things right. It's just the thing they don't understand, I think, or the thing that they're just bad at is they take it's going to sound simple, but they take things too far. And what I mean by that is they take everything to heart and they really don't realize, I think, how dangerous their ideas are. I don't think a lot of especially a modern day extremist, I don't think that they've seen people die in front of them. Like I don't think we're talking about like really people that like if they did see something like that, maybe they would stop. I don't know. You mean like in a culture where revolution means walking neatly single file and taking selfies, right?
And like walking within the velvet ropes.
Well, it won't mean that forever. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like this won't. It is cushy now, but these people's ideas, like what they're talking about, Trump and both sides of the radical, like right and left, like what they're talking about will lead to violence. It just will.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that we, live in a cushy environment with cell phones. Like you're right, day to day, these people aren't dealing with much, but they're playing in some dangerous role playing. They're role playing in dangerous territory.
But I think also like people have been. The thought was like we're just going to appease everybody with entertainment.
Well, that being said, I do agree with them on like it's a clown show to
yeah. It's funny because we like this lockdown would not have lasted as long if we didn't have Netflix.
100%.
If the internet went down on March 15th, the lockdown would have ended on March 15th. Like people would have
maybe a day or two, but sure, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because people like are now they're like, oh, but then also because people have all this free time and they're home and they're bored, is why we're seeing all these flares up of shit too. Like people who are going to work are not fucking planning trips to Washington D.C.
No. Of course not. Of course not.
Well, or to Portland jobs. Or to Seattle or anything else. Yeah, you have people laying around. It's a powder keg.
I think a lot of times the economy doesn't really care how you're affiliated politically. Like a lot of people's jobs were lost regardless.
Yeah, there might be like a real populist moment now because a lot of people have been able to. A lot of people have done well during this, and a lot of people's lives are shifting in a better direction. Where if they're like in the knowledge economy, where they can work wherever they are and they don't have to go into an office and what have you. And a lot of people feel left out.
What do you mean better? Cheap. I mean, like who's doing well during this? I mean, Amazon and the big companies.
Well, yeah, I mean, they employ a lot of people.
But those are small. But the employees of Amazon are not quote unquote doing well. They still have their job, so that doesn't mean they're doing well. You know what I mean? Like the executives at Amazon, for sure.
Even the delivery of packages is getting worse. I've had like multiple. Like I feel like even that that might like fall apart eventually, and then people will fucking start rioting in the streets. I just feel like I've had a package get lost. I like the mailman just be like, maybe he's like, I'm perfectly capable of not doing this the right way. When I asked about where my package was, I was like, what are you talking about? Man. I've asked the FedEx guy 15 times, like not to leave my package out on the front door where like anybody could just come by and swipe it. And then every time I get a package, it's left clear as day.
Is this New York or New Jersey?
This is Jersey.
Really?
It's very casual down here.
Yeah, no, I mean, they leave them outside the door, but nobody steals them here. I mean, we get a package every other day here, and it's been fine. But I don't know. I just think, man, I know it's been a populist moment for the last 5 years. That's why Trump got elected. That's why Bernie was the most popular Democrat candidate. They're both populist candidates.
Until the Democrats decided
They've derailed him twice now. They derailed Bernie.
What's funny, like,
look at the Bernie meme that's getting passed around.
I know people.
I have an interesting take about that or I think it's interesting. I don't want to blow smoke up my own ass, but there's a reason though that it has taken off, because Bernie, I still think, is the most popular politician amongst the people, amongst most people. And I know that you might lean a different way politically, and I probably do too, but let's just put that out of our heads for now. I think you're kind of not seeing the full picture if you don't see that Bernie was the most popular candidate, at least among people under 60, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the people that I interact with, and even the people, even like people like my parents, like, I don't know, like people that are not ancient, most people were like behind what Bernie was saying. No one I met was behind Biden.
Well, it's funny. It's like democracy was restored yesterday, except
but they took it away.
Except if you watch the primaries and like Biden came in third place and Kamala got 1% of the vote, and then like in a day everybody dropped out.
It's absolutely true. Remember the Iowa caucus though? I mean, do you remember the coin flip?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, Pete Buttigieg actually won.
Paper, rock, scissors.
Bernie won by like a mile. Like, it was, they were panicking because they know that, Wall Street won't like a Bernie election. So they're just rich cunts. It's just such bullshit, man.
The machine won yesterday. Like, it really
did. Yeah. And it's kind of cringy to see all the people celebrating the
Biden
victory.
God.
It's really cringy. But I mean, look, the solace I take is maybe they feel like, I don't know, maybe they genuinely feel happy right now. Good for them. But in those tweets are going to age very poorly. They're going to look very silly. Not saying that Biden's going to be like this awful guy. Like, I don't really think he is. But I'm just saying, like, to put your love and complete devotion to the establishment, you will look foolish. You will look foolish in the future.
It's like
it's crazy.
It's like trying to teach a kid like why not to do something, and then you let them do it, and then they get hurt, and they're like, oh, that's why we don't told me not to do this.
That's why we don't trust the DNC. Yes.
So let's let these children have their little election, and we'll see what happens.
It's just crazy though to me, like that people don't like learn, like, I don't know, like I saw like people like in their 40s, 50s, 60s tweeting like, I could sleep well tonight now. And it's like, fuck you. First of all, hold on. First of all, you were not sleeping well for 4 straight years. That is such bullshit. I mean, really think about the people that said I could sleep well at night now. They're lying. There was not, 1,000+ days straight of not sleeping well. We don't live in a third world nation as bad as it's getting. It's still not that bad. We were, everyone was fed. Everyone had Netflix. Everyone was able to fucking sleep through the pandemic, But I think that they want to, like, people are so, human beings are so prone to, like, look at me or look at how I feel about this. Like, kind of like, and with social media, it just amplifies it so much.
We live it's been said a million times, we live in an age of narcissism. And I think Kurt Metzger has a joke basically that people act like the world started in 2016.
Yes,
like they have no historical reference before the election.
Right. Trump's a Nazi.
Anything that happened before that is like, it doesn't even register.
Right. No, Hitler's not
Everything
even
was unprecedented. All this stuff. It's like, and I was actually, it's funny because I was thinking about this today, like, because I feel like, more discombobulated now than even at the beginning of lockdown. And so even like watching movies and reading books, which normally are my pleasures, dude, it took me like 15 tries to watch this movie. Like I just could not just sit down and focus.
I will say it's also because this movie.
It's also because of the movie, which we should get to in a second. But for whatever reason, I've been watching a lot of like Clint Eastwood stuff, but like older, like 60s, 70s Clint Eastwood. And I have all the Dirty Harry movies on DVD, which I love, and there's a documentary about Dirty Harry, because when Dirty Harry came out, that's a movie we should do, because that's a movie that really kind of laid a lot of the groundwork.
Sure.
For the 80s action movies too, but when that movie came out, it was super controversial, and like all these left-wing critics were like, this is fascist, this is like pro-cop, which is funny because basically in the movie he like goes against the police department and he acts alone. Oh. But there's a documentary about like the legacy of Dirty Harry on the DVDs. And they're literally just showing clips going back 40 years of them calling every Republican Hitler. I'm like, it's like George Bush is Hitler, the other George Bush is Hitler, Ronald Reagan is Hitler. It's just like, again, if your historical memory is 3 years, you might not realize like this has been done like to death already.
Well, and it is because of a back-to-back Democrat. We had Obama twice. So a lot of the people calling Trump a Nazi are 18 years old, and they don't even remember when Bush was president. They really don't. They weren't, they weren't functioning people yet. They were
even
10 years old.
At this point, Clinton was almost 30 years ago.
Clinton was 30 years ago.
It's crazy.
I don't remember Clinton.
I remember. I was like my formative
the
years.
one thing I remember about Clinton in office was, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
But there was a lot of.
But he did, and
it was a lot of rah with Clinton. Like he played saxophone on Arsenio.
No, I know. Yeah, he was like the young guy. Yeah.
Maya Angelou was like said he was the first black president. Just a lot of cringy stuff back then.
The first black president.
That's what he was called, the first black president, in a way
he's white.
Yes, I know. In a way that today,
that was said.
People would burn everything down right now. I believe it was Maya Angelou that said it. Might have been Toni Morrison.
Oh,
forgive me. I'm going to get in trouble for confusing two separate black authors that are not the same person. I apologize in advance, but it might have been one or the other. Either way, it's a terrible.
Well, you know what they say: black authors, they all look alike.
Yeah, especially the lesbian women. No, I'm not. I don't want to get canceled. So Tanya Roberts,
yes,
smoke show.
She's very, very hot,
and I wanted to honor her. It's funny because there was this movie. She was in A Time to Kill, which was the first. A View to a Kill, which is the first James Bond I remember ever seeing. So that was a movie that like was big for me as a kid. But then she was also in a movie called Sheena, which she plays a blonde-haired woman who is in Africa, raised in the jungle. I think it's based on a comic, and a guy who's like an American journalist like stumbles upon her showering naked in a river.
Okay. And
she also communicates with animals. So that's basically her entire filmography is naked in a river, talking to animals, and I love it. She's a very attractive woman, and she's
very attractive.
An unbelievable body.
Yes.
And she's attractive. She's attractive in a way that I feel like doesn't exist anymore. Because she's like natural. She's like interesting white girl attractive.
There's still that, but it is rare. You're right.
But it's like sensual. Yeah. Like she's like doing fighting and shit, and she's like kicking and stuff. But like
there's still a little bit out there, but for the most part. Yeah, if a white girl would look like that today, she would have gotten plastic surgery.
But she I had to look it up. Like she's like half Jewish and half Irish. Like she doesn't look like, I don't know. She just doesn't look. She doesn't look like the sort of like.
Irish girls are beautiful.
I know,
and Jewish girls too, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like Irish girls, like I think are sometimes like top. When an Irish girl is very attractive, that's like top of the top.
If she hasn't she doesn't have that like alcoholic.
No, we're talking like
pre-24, crinkly skin.
Like 28 and under, let's say. Yeah. Or even I'll give 34 and under.
It's probably there's a steep decline.
There is a.
When the liver,
all Irish
which crazy enough, I think she had like liver disease, which is a very
that's
Irish way to go.
That is
that's something to say. But
she didn't die from the liver, did she? Is that?
Well, they think that the infection really
was caused by
hit her hard
failure?
Because she had serious liver problems. But yeah, rest in peace, Tanya. Like big part of my childhood.
Peace, man. Rest in peace. Yeah.
I actually remember her from Sheena more than I remember. I remember Beastmaster, and this movie caught me by surprise because I remember really liking it, and I don't think I've been this surprised about how bad a movie was.
This was, multiple audible groans from me.
And I think what I really liked was the ferrets and the quicksand. And that was
I know. When the quicksand came up, I was like, this is a Peter Garacci special, a quicksand from a kid's when he saw it when he was a kid.
When he says this guy. So the actor is Mark Singer.
All right, can we talk about that too? The guy,
not good.
Well, he's a terrible actor. Absolutely awful. He's actually. This is one of the worst performances I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. Yeah, but what a body! Holy shit!
Yeah, not like chiseled.
The 80s. Like I just feel like people weren't as in shape back then. Like they were, but they were like kind of like a more like you didn't see guys this lean in the 80s.
Well, that's what it is. It's more lean than anything. Like he's not jacked like a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger, but he's so lean that you see like every muscle in his body.
Every muscle. The guy's got like a 12-pack.
There had to be some kind of diuretic or something they'd use in Hollywood where they do right before they film.
Maybe.
They do that shit.
Well, yeah, probably, but they take steroids now. That's what they do.
No, but
now.
there's even like I remember reading an actor like he did something where he did like he like drank a Diet Coke and did push-ups like right before filming because it like desiccates your muscles and then makes them swell. Like, there's all kinds of tricks.
Well, sure, they definitely do tricks, but they also take steroids. Like 1,000%, especially in the superhero movies. That's what they do.
And this guy is basically half naked for the entire movie.
Well,
so he wouldn't have been able to do anything quick. It would have been long term.
Yeah, this is not a staring at David Bowie's bulge situation. I wasn't analyzing for this. He's full display this whole movie. But great body, and I watching this, I just kept thinking to myself, this must have been like basically porn for like women in the 80s. Like, how often did they get this in like a movie?
I don't know.
It was very overly sexual, and he's young. He's like very young.
Yeah, I feel like it was the beginning of that.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
I think there were like
it was
later
really
movies.
overtly like I couldn't believe how much like. And then when you see Tanya and too, like it's just like everyone's naked.
It's immediate. She's like sitting in a way that's just to accentuate her tits hanging. You notice that?
Yeah.
She's like leaning off a rock, and it's just hanging through, which is amazing. Yeah, I saw the cat go by.
I gotta actually open the door for him.
He gets pissy if he can't get out. Anyway, Tanya Roberts, you were a part of my childhood. I wish you eternal rest. What a shame.
I'm back.
Yeah, it's so. Again, I remember seeing it as a kid. I remember being into it. I remember I had my childhood best friend had ferrets.
Okay. How old were you when you saw it?
I must have been like 10.
It's a wild movie for like and not the movie.
No, but I saw
itself.
it on TV.
Oh, you saw it.
And that's maybe why I don't remember Tanya Roberts, because I feel like I saw Sheena on HBO.
Yeah.
Sheena was immediate. In fact, the Sheena scene is hilarious because it turns out that and this is like a weird thing that happens too. Like so Sheena, she's like she's orphaned in the jungle and she has like superpowers, whatever. This American journalist,
this is wild.
He like stumbles upon her like bathing in a waterfall, and she's like, well, "Don't you
literally
also want
just like this?
Yes,
same kind of thing."
But like full on like water like running down her head, and she's like, "Well, don't you also want to bathe?" And then he starts taking his clothes off, and she like touches his chest, and he goes, "You have fur. The men of my tribe don't have fur." And so he decides not to get in the waterfall with her.
What?
Because he was offended, I guess, that he had like chest hair. But that turned out to be the dad on Blossom.
I don't know what that is.
There was like a sitcom with like it was about teenage girls. But it's weird when you like associate like an actor with the movie where you saw a hot girl naked, and then later he's the dad.
Yeah.
On the sitcom that you're watching.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know.
It happens.
But I just remember that movie definitely left an impression. But this one, I thought it might have just been the ferrets in the fucking quicksand. Well, because I can't think of another thing I like about this movie.
But I will say it's a weird movie because it is like a movie for 10-year-olds by the plot, by the you have literally animal characters. Like it's very, it could be a cartoon. This movie, this script, but there's nudity and like overt sexual, and then some weird like disturbing kind of like murder scene.
And it's also like got a lot of horror elements. The guy who wrote and directed, Don Coscarelli, did a bunch of like horror movies called like Phantasm and like all these sequels.
Oh, like,
so it definitely has some like horror elements.
Well, the weird goo.
Yeah, it starts with like a Macbeth allusion, which is also like an Oedipus thing. About,
it starts like almost like a mythological.
Yeah, but then I thought about it. I read a summary of the script and still did not understand.
The
plot of the movie.
It was tough to follow.
And also, I thought about it. I was like, oh, this movie, like even like a superhero movie, it's like they're usually about something. Like there's some kind of, there's like some kind of
there has
reason to the myth. And this movie doesn't have...
No, there's no reason.
It's not like... It doesn't have like a religious theme. It doesn't have a political theme.
You're right. There's no reason why he's the Beastmaster. He just is. And there's nothing.
And he is
able to talk to animals.
Well, he's supposed to be killed as a baby, and he's not. Right. So he doesn't really know his identity.
Sure.
And it turns out he's the oldest son of the king, and he's going to restore the king. But there's another son.
Right.
It can also restore the kid. So you don't even need both of them. There's a lot of stuff that you like. There's a lot of ancillary stuff in here that could have just been streamlined.
Yes.
It could have been 30 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
And
it should have been a lot.
I don't understand the creature. Like there's like the supernatural creatures that melt people.
Yeah.
Then there's like the horsemen that are kind of supernatural too.
Right, like some of them had the gift. It seemed. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very confusing, and it was not good.
And then
it was not good.
Rip Torn, who's normally amazing as the villain, in this movie he's not amazing. He's a great actor.
No, I've seen him in other stuff. He's good, but I think he just felt silly doing it. Was just not good.
I was thinking about that too because it's like
he's dressed up as an idiot. Like
it's easy to say like, oh my god, I'm a good actor. What am I doing this shit? But like, there's a lot of these like movies like this turn out to be good too. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily know.
You don't know what it's going to look like once it's on film.
Just because it's like sandals and swords and all stuff doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like cheeseball and dumb.
No, it just was though. That's the problem.
And then they kill like he's the main villain. He gets killed off.
Right.
But there's still 30 minutes of movie left.
That I did not like.
With like a weird.
I basically was like, I'm checking out now.
Yeah. There was the one cool thing where they like lit the moat on fire. Mm-hmm. That was a cool. But like it was like didn't kill. There's an exploding moat of fire that kills no one.
Can I say one thing too? I mean, maybe this is an 80s thing. I don't think so because I think other 80s movies, especially action movies, have done this well. But there's the scene where the bird saves the kid that's about to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
And the shot goes from the kid sinking into the well or the fire, and then up to the bird reaching for the kid, and then the kid sinking into the fire, and then back to the bird, and then back to the kid, and then back to the bird. And every time they're doing that, the kid is like an inch away from the fire, right? And the bird is like in the clouds.
Yeah.
And there's no way the bird would be able to get to the kid before, but they just shoot it in this way that looks awful, and then terrible at it, and then the bird has the kid. It's just like, I was like, I could have executed that better.
There was some like weird. There's a lot of like cheap looking sets.
It was poorly done. It was
like a lot of fake looking rocks. But then like
that's because of the upscaling. I think when we watch this in like 1080p digital.
Oh yeah, okay.
And like, to be fair though, it was shot on film, right? Which is like that is full HD. So I don't know.
Yeah, but then like also like I'm like, how did they do the ferret in the quicksand? Like a lot of the ferret stuff was like really impressive. It's like in 1 minute they're doing like really cheesy like film tricks that are cheap, but then they also do stuff where I'm like, how the hell did they get the ferret to do that? Like,
well, was it a real ferret?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was. I don't think they had like.
You're right. It looked like a real ferret.
And at the end, like you got the ferrets coming out of the pouch and the baby. I'm like, my heart melted a little bit. Like the movie almost redeems itself at the end with the.
Well,
but it was just like a hodgepodge. It was like He-Man. He even looks like He-Man, and He-Man had a big cat that was his best friend, and it was just like a little bit of Conan the Barbarian, a little bit of Road Warrior, it was just like a huge hodgepodge of stuff that could have just been streamlined.
You needed a better lead. I know he looked.
Yeah, you need an actor
but he was not.
He says, I actually wrote it down. Like when he's in the quicksand and he's like he wants the ferrets to help him. He just goes, "Thanks." Like it's the most like cheeseball like weird line reading I've
ever. After he gets saved, do you mean?
No, before he's like, "Thanks." I'm Dar.
This is so bad. It's so bad. But this might be the worst movie we've ever done. I'm not kidding. This might be the worst.
John Amos is in it. And John Amos is great. The black guy who was. Oh.
It's okay. You're lagging severely.
John Amos is
but it's okay.
It's so weird.
It's okay. Just keep going.
John Amos is a great actor, and he's good in this. But he also has a look of like, I can't believe that guy is the fucking star, and I'm like the third lead in this bullshit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's yeah. I wish we would have done Sheena instead.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, look, we gotta do a stinker every now and then. And this was just a terrible movie. So
yeah, it also like Highlander, it like had multiple sequels and a TV show spinoff.
Really,
which is amazing.
Are we gonna piss people off for saying
there's definitely a fan base?
We definitely pissed people off for the Highlander one, which I thought we didn't even say it was that bad. I think we shit on it a little bit.
We shit on the lead, Christopher Lambert.
Yeah, we did. People like it. We got 2 dislikes on YouTube videos from random people. I was
oh,
like,
really?
All right.
That's funny.
And like people when you dislike a YouTube video, you're going out of your way to dislike the YouTube video, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they probably were hurt. They're probably searching Highlander on YouTube every day, and then they saw a new thing pop up.
Like finally, my movie.
Fucking morons. Yo, listen, if you're a big fan of Beastmaster, there were good parts of it, but just come on, be honest with yourself. The acting was not amazing. Like, it just wasn't.
They could have done more with less, and with a charismatic leading man. Dude, and again, like, people shit on like Arnold. Like,
Arnold. This is why Arnold is amazing, because you could take this movie and make it great.
If this had been a Conan movie, this would have been a much better movie.
Been good, yeah. They would have had to change a few things here and there, but I still think this could have been a good movie with Arnold, or a good movie with Stallone. Even not good, better with Arnold,
and more entertaining.
Yes, absolutely,
more fun, and that's why like it's still like. I was thinking about this too, like Arnold and Stallone, like they needed each other, like they were in competition with each other to be great, and then later people tried to top them,
right?
And like so like Bruce Willis had his take with Die Hard, and Mel Gibson had and Kurt Russell, but like it was that like reaching for greatness that kind of made those movies fun.
Yeah.
And this guy is just like, they
he's
found him somewhere. He's not reaching for greatness.
This guy is okay with like very poor. Like, he's okay with sub-average.
Yeah, just the way he speaks. I thought some of his lines were dubbed. He's Canadian. I was like, did they get another foreign actor who can't speak English?
He's really bad in this. I don't know if anyone did he do anything after this?
He did all the other.
Oh
stuff.
No!
Yeah, he did all the other Highlander stuff, and he did a miniseries that which was big in the 80s called V, which I've never seen, but I hear about all the time. It was some like alien invasion.
People are gonna be. There's gonna be some stands out there, especially some vaginas that got wet in the 80s that fell in love with this kid that probably love him.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, hey, this is our opinion. He is beautiful, so I say that. I mean, what a bot.
Weird haircut. Like,
a little weird haircut, but still beautiful kid. What's his name?
Mark Singer.
All right, I got to see what he looks like right now. It's going to be a disaster.
He probably looks like Tanya Roberts' boyfriend that fucking didn't
realize. Oh, actually, you know what he looks like? He's like all plastic surgeryed up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. All right, you want to see it? Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. But like, he's plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
He kind of, what he looks like? He kind of looks like those people in the movie that melt the other people.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not very nice.
I'm not seeing it.
What do you mean? Oh, sorry.
Because my internet connection sucks.
Oh, hold on. I could share it. Let me do it. All right, I'm sharing it. Yeah, your internet connection does suck, which is a problem.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Now it won't let me share it. All right, well.
Never mind.
There we go.
No, there we go. He's aged.
Look at the screen. It's here. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah,
No, he's aged, but he's also gotten like plastic surgery. I don't know.
For sure.
Like, look. Oh, now he's super old. Look at him. Oh man, poor guy.
Well, he's probably slightly older than Tanya Roberts.
I mean, geez, he looks old as shit here. Wow, man, look what time does. Look at this, and look at him here.
The movie's 40 years ago.
I know, but just man, time really is a motherfucker, isn't it? Wow.
God, I look at pictures of myself 2 years ago.
The thing is we never look this good though.
And I can't fit into the same clothes. That's the thing that gets me is clothes that I wish I could still fit into.
I am getting better, dude. I went down a pant size, down.
Really?
Yes, during the pandemic, because I'm like walking, I'm exercising, I'm eating a little better.
That's good.
Yeah, I dropped weight and a couple pants sizes.
I got bad, but I've lost a couple pounds in the last.
You don't look you look like you've maintained.
I was like getting over it, getting being bad, and then lately I've been better. Having my lady stay with me has been good for me.
My problem is with my girlfriend now, and saying that I guess is strange, but whatever.
Yeah.
Is she likes to make snacks like all the time. She like makes like these cheesecakes that are amazing, and
yeah.
It's not good. I gotta stop.
No, my girl makes like green juice, and like I'm drinking one of those every day. But she also like she makes a lot of food.
Right.
That's and then it's like I'm reverting to my.
It's good, but
I'm reverting to my childhood where like I feel guilty if I don't eat all of the chicken.
No,
cutlets.
Don't do that. You know, it's the Italian upbringing.
Oh God, yeah. But I need to now that the weather. I feel like it's
freezing.
It's weird because it's January, but I feel like spring is coming. Even though I know it's like a while away, I don't know. It just feels like maybe I'm just excited. I can sleep well now, and democracy is restored. I just feel like a lot of hope.
Right. Yes. I believe in the establishment.
Everything is going to be better because the exact same people are running New York and all the cities that are fucking burning down right now.
Right. And we could put our trust in, the United States government.
Yeah. I'm hoping I want to be the first person to volunteer to get reprogrammed by AOC's task force.
Did she actually say reprogram?
She said there should be like funding for they call it they always call it like
something. She used the word re-education,
yeah.
which is like that is too. Just say it differently. At least try and make me believe that this is not bad. Like I don't know. Man, I don't know, man. It's not even those people I hate that. Like, look, AOC, whatever. What bothers me a little bit about AOC is it seems like she's all down for the cause, down for, anti-establishment. And then when push comes to shove, she's like, lock these people up. Like,
yeah, couldn't be more establishment.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. I guess she's not this like progressive darling or whatever. She's like I forget, but she's in Congress. She literally
I said like I would have rather her because everybody's like makes a big deal that she was a bartender and then I would have rather her like I'd rather her like own a bar. She might have actually learned how things work if she actually had to be like the
not
person
just her.
in charge.
To be fair, we're using her as like a scapegoat here. It's all politicians. I wish they would have owned a small business at some point in their life because then they would know. Then they would know what it's
what's happening now too is like they want to stick it to the man because they want to be the man. Like they don't want to make the system. It seems like once they get power, then they just want to punish the people that they felt were punishing them rather than make things better.
I guess.
And that's what scares.
I don't really know. I'm not scared of Biden, to be honest with you, because I'm not. I don't think either political party is good. So frankly, like I really don't think we have a good leader right now, which is a little scary, and we never have. I mean, I wouldn't consider Trump a good leader by any means. So I really don't think he was a leader to a group of people, but he's not a good leader in my opinion. And Biden's not a leader of anyone. No one looks to Biden as a leader. So we don't have a leader really, but I kind of like that it's going to move more towards the center. I don't really think Biden's going to push against to be this constant antagonist against Republicans. I don't think that's his MO. I think his MO is going to be what he's saying it is. Not like all the fluff speak, but when he says stuff like unity, I think what, behind reading between the lines, what they're trying to say, his administration is, we're basically going to be like right down the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that necessarily. I'm also, look, I don't believe in it, but I just think it's a lot safer than either extreme.
Well, it's also, yes, I've always been I think one of the things that makes America stable and great is that we're not as
reactionary.
Well, we're not as, we don't have I always go back to Italy because Italy is the country I know the most. Like Italy has viable communist and fascist parties today.
Right.
That whereas where Parliament, they have to make deals with the Communist Party. They have both of our parties are kind of in the middle compared to pretty much every other country. And we used to, we have arguments over literally we have arguments. It's like, should it be a $600 check or a $2,000 check? Not should we overthrow, get rid of our constitution and throw out our entire system and start from scratch, which other countries do.
Well, that being said, you're right. You're absolutely right. But would it surprise you if we don't have two more political parties that are one's fascist, one's more communist in the 10 years?
I don't know.
It seems like we're absolutely headed that way.
I think everything. People make money predicting shit and being completely wrong, and they get to keep making money predicting shit. And I think whatever's going to happen is going to be a surprise. Because I think Trump was a surprise. I think Corona was a surprise.
Absolutely.
So
the predictions, there's no point. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think I'm kind of nothing.
Nothing
will surprise me because I think it's going to be a surprise no matter what.
I agree with that. I'm just saying the people that you were speaking about, like the Marxist Twitter people.
Yeah,
they're not Democrats. They don't associate themselves as Democrats. And there's a lot of them.
I also like them a little bit better.
Of course you do. Yeah.
And he's like fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, this.
I think I like them better for their intellectual effort, right? Yeah. But I don't think them in power is better. I will say that. I will say the Biden idiots in power, I'll take it over the, very intellectual Marxist.
Well, yeah, and again, it's owning a bar. It's like I was a waiter and I had friends who were like, we gotta take over this place, blah blah blah. But the one who's actually then I became a manager, and when you become a person with responsibility, all of a sudden there's a reason you become the man, because now you're I can't be the fucking jerk off who's just talking bullshit all the time. You actually have to get shit done.
Yeah.
So that inevitably changes you.
Well, what do you mean? So what do you mean in this context? I get it in the context of a bar, but
if you're revolutionary and you're we have to overthrow everything, and then you're in charge. Yeah. And then it's well, also we got to make sure that the highways are maintained, and that all of a sudden the mundane aspects of being in charge, they kind of temper you. So everybody sort of, I have to work this out.
Yeah, because I don't really know. I know what you're saying, but I don't really know if that would be the case. That's not the case for all radical overthrows. They don't all default to some sensible.
But again, that's what makes this. I think that's one of the things that makes America great.
Right.
Makes America great, and has made America great forever. Not as a political slogan.
Right.
But one of the reasons people come. Let's put it this way,
But all right, America's not great right now.
But it will be. It is.
Yeah.
And will
you
be.
have faith.
People buy American debt, and people come to America because of the stability.
Nobody's coming to America though for the last year now.
Well, because no one really.
Well, they're going to other places. Australia's fully open. China's fully open.
Yeah.
New Zealand's fully open. There are there's a bunch of functional countries.
It's strange to me,
dude. We're not doing well. You and my mom, I have to let this sink in. You guys have had it very good for very long in America.
Yes, I think that's true.
And you guys can't see. I've been convinced that we're headed down this path for 6-7 years now. So it's not that surprising to me that people storm the Capitol, because I kind of saw that type of thing coming. But my mom was shocked and kind of depressed about it, because she's I grew up in America where this didn't happen. And we just lost Peter on that note. Amazing. Fucking idiot probably isn't charging his laptop or something stupid. Jesus Christ. Well, The Beastmaster. That is a terrible movie. I don't recommend that you see it ever. But the guy, the lead, is very hot. Mark Singer, hot body. And the lady who died, who I am struggling to remember her name, She is also amazing looking. So if you guys are looking for some old 80s erotica, maybe that is the way to go here. All right, Peter is calling. Hey, Peter, you want to talk to the people?
And then my laptop kicked out.
Yeah, meaning what? Like you're not charging it?
Yeah, it wasn't plugged in. It said I had 15%, and then it's fucking.
15% is no good, but
I don't know.
It's okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We should end the episode.
Yeah, I guess so.
Am I on the Zoom right now?
Yeah, I have you on speaker.
All right, tell everybody I said good night and goodbye.
I mean, they could hear you, so good night and goodbye.
I have a good feeling. Everything's good. That's it. Biden's got magical powers. The pandemic's gonna end. Everything's gonna be great.
Yeah, Kamala 2020 whatever. She's gonna be president soon.
We're gonna be celebrating Peter Palooza before you know it. Everything's gonna be beautiful.
I hope so, man. And yeah. Don't watch this movie. It sucks, but the bodies are hot.
Look up
Tanya Roberts
for Sheena Easton. For Sheena Easton, the movie Sheena and View to a Kill.
You heard the man.
All right.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.